so she passed through the Bureau quarantine thermal scanning. Also, because of the occasional coughing, it could have been a thing that she could have been repressing her cough.
Correct.
Or has not been coughing that much. So people would have not noticed that she had that kind of condition.
But isn't that going to be the problem, Dr. Avelino? Because you have an incubation period of this virus from 2 days to 14 days. Anybody can actually come in and pass that thermal scanner and be asymptomatic when in fact you're already incubating that virus in your body.
That is true. That's why we are now looking and reviewing our algorithm to include all, because in the past we had included fever, cough, and respiratory, but then since cases have been noticed to have only sometimes cough or sometimes fever, then we are more careful this time with regards to screening people coming especially from abroad, especially China.
Opo. But I want to go back to my same point, Doctor. I hope you don't mind. If it's an incubation period of 2 days to 14 days, at any point, sir, I can not exhibit any symptoms. A suspected person cannot exhibit any, then I can pass through any thermal scanner, any thermometer, any checkup with a doctor because I am still not exhibiting any symptoms, doctor. So my point is anyone can enter easily.
Yes, that is also also the reason why Bureau of Quarantine has issued already the health declaration checklist, so that any health condition that they are currently experiencing, then they can put it in, and the Bureau of Quarantine can have the assessment thoroughly if they have cough or they have reported. But then again, if the patient will not divulge the health condition, then that would be the gap or the weakness of the system.
But also, if I fill up that health card, if I'm the suspected caser and I still don't have a cough or a cold or a fever, I'm going to put an X. Have you experienced a cough?
Exactly.
No. Fever.
True,
so,
that's true.
Doctor, what I'm trying to say is it doesn't seem like that's foolproof. The health card nor the thermal scanner. Is there anything else that we can do to spot a person who possibly is positive with the novel coronavirus?
I think the more drastic and move is not to welcome people in the country, but then again there would be some consequences with regards to banning a particular country or banning a particular nationality coming to the Philippines.
Yeah.
But that is being studied as well, because there are some countries who are following that kind of thinking at the moment.
Opo, because isn't our safety paramount here, Doctor? Ibig sabihin, si health card ay hindi po foolproof. Si thermal scanner ay hindi po foolproof. Ano ho ang pwedeng, anong suggestion ngayon ng Department of Health, possibly sa gobyerno para po mas paigtingin pa ang ating pagbabantay laban dito sa novel coronavirus? Meron ho ba kayo magiging suggestion sa gobyerno, sir?
What we are looking at the moment is to recommend a facility-based quarantine for all passengers coming from China. But this has to go through the proper channels still, and we will be recommending this within the day.
I see. So, parang ika-quarantine. Wala pa rin po sa purview ninyo ang pag-ban sa mga tao, hindi po Chinese, sa mga taong nanggaling sa mga bansa na nagkaroon na po ng infection ng novel coronavirus. Wala pa ho yun in the horizon?
Yung pag-ban lang ng particular nationality, you mean?
Pag-ban po ng travelers that have come...
Travelers.
Travelers na nanggaling sa isang bansa na affected ng novel coronavirus.
Opo. Yun nga po ang tinitingnan natin ngayon na i-quarantine lahat ng travelers coming from China at to have them facility-based quarantine. So, kagaya ng nangyari noon, if you recall, yung sa Ebola, na kung saan quarantine yung mga pumunta doon sa affected area ng 30 days, I think, sa isang isla. But we are not looking at an island as an option. But ilalagay sila sa isang facility para ma-observe sila for the next 14 days.
Right. Doctor, when you talk about contact tracing, this female 38-year-old who is in a government hospital, the hospital has been named, in fact, Doctor, ano po?
Opo, opo.
San Lazaro, ano po. A lot of things, a lot of questions. Number one, how safe are the patients there now? Ito ho bang si female 38-year-old ay nasa isolation?
Yes, nasa isolation sila. May dedicated area ang San Lazaro for this particular case. Health personnel also may dedicated health personnel. So hindi lahat ay exposed, and strict infection control is being observed in this area.
Doctor, how many are there in that isolation area?
Currently, we have, if I'm not mistaken, 2 at the moment.
But the second one is still a suspect person under investigation?
Yes, also.
Kailan mo malalaman si number 2 kung positive o hindi?
Kung positive, ang what I know of is pinadala sa Australia yung kanyang specimen yesterday, so that would take about 2 days.
I see.
Baka bukas meron na tayong result.
Doc, so yung patients and staff in the hospital in San Lazaro right now are safe. What do you want to say to those, the patients or to their families na nangangamba po ngayon?
For those na nangangamba, ang San Lazaro po ay known to be the referral hospital for infectious diseases. So equipped po sila ng lahat ng measures para po maprotektahan ang ibang pasyente sa ibang infeksyon na maaari na makuha sa ospital. Rest assured po yung ating mga pasyente sa San Lazaro, sila po ay napoprotektahan from the possible infection din na nasa ibang area of the hospital.
Would there be a suggestion from you, doctor, na dun sa mga kailangan pumunta sa San Lazaro Hospital to possibly just choose another hospital from here on?
We don't encourage that.
Okay. I want to ask you, sir, doctor, about the contact tracing. Na-figure out na ho ba, na-trace na ho ba kung sinong kasama, saan nagpunta, si 38-year-old female positive of the novel coronavirus?
We have traced the flights that they took. We have also traced the places they've been to in Dumaguete.
Apo.
Kasi hindi na nag-transit lang sila sa Cebu. And right now, our epidemiologists are going to the Region 7 to do the contact tracing.
Okay, I want to put that up on the screen. I think we have that, sir. Yung kanyang naging travel. January 21 was Hong Kong to Cebu. Okay. Pagkatapos po nun, this is her travel history, Hong Kong to Cebu. And then January 22 is Cebu to Dumaguete. And then I think January 25 is Dumaguete to Manila. So, na-contact trace nyo na ho lahat ito?
Yung mga lugar na laman na namin, and we have coordinated with Dumaguete. In fact, the THO of Dumaguete coordinated with us yesterday, last night to be specific. Tapos, but as early as yesterday afternoon, alam na namin yung lugar kung saan pupunta, and we have already prepared an action plan on how to go about with contact tracing.
Is this resort, sir?
Yes.
In Dumaguete? Opo. Yung sa Cebu, sir?
Wala silang pinuntahan sa Cebu. We learned it only last night that from Cebu pala, dumiretso na sila pa Dumaguete.
Dumiretso.
So it was like a connecting flight.
Oh, was it a connect? Hindi po nagroro. Kasi meron
Hindi nagroro.
So, connecting ka agad from Cebu to Dumaguete. Kasi nagtagal sa Dumaguete ng 22, 23, 24, 25, 4 days. No.
Yes.
So, ang kailangan ho talaga dito yung resort sa Dumaguete. Just very quickly, I hope you don't mind if you can answer me. What about those na nakasama sa aeroplano?
We have also received the flight manifesto. So we are looking at those that are on nearby seats doon sa pasyente. So it's the rule of 4.
Rule of 4, okay.
So 4 at front, back, and side. So
yun po kailangan. Dr. Ferchito Avelino, Doc, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Salamat din po.
Also joining us here in the studio, former Health Secretary Esperanza Cabral. Secretary Cabral, good to see you. We want to understand the virus more. Please help us understand this. Is this something we should fear? Nakakatakot na ho ba ito?
Nakakatakot siya, pero hindi naman kailangan na magpanik tayo. We should just do what we can in order to prevent ourselves from getting the virus. And there are very many practical things we can do.
Such as?
Such as washing your hands properly and frequently. Properly, I have to emphasize that kasi hindi ko mo nilagay mo sa tubig yung kamay mo, hugas na yon. Hindi. You should really use soap and water and briskly rub your hands.
Talaga,
Yes.
So, yung iba ho kasi, minsan tubig lang yung ginagamit, Sec. Hindi po, that's not effective.
Yeah, wala yung magagawa sa atin. Kung walang soap and water, pwedeng alcohol-based sanitizers, pero mas mahal pa yun kaysa sa sabon.
In a day, would you say, how many times should we be washing our hands? And
If our hands are not obviously dirty, okay, we should just wash it regularly before we eat, because that's the time when we're going to put something in our mouth. Okay? And then when we take a bath, or when we go to the bathroom, and then we need to wash our hands after, yes.
After your business in the bathroom,
That's right.
we need to be able to do that. And we want to talk about this. How do we actually get it? Secretary Cabral was telling me about the difference between droplets and what's in the air, a virus in the air, and droplets, so we understand better. Actually, Secretary Cabral was saying there's a number of feet by which ikaw maaaring ma-infect, but we'll be talking about that. After the break, this is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned.
With Trivago, you can set a price range and compare different offers from hundreds of websites worldwide to find your ideal hotel. Hotel Trivago. Find yourself a great price with the Trivago app. Download now.
You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, former Health Secretary Esperanza Cabral. Doc, nung kausap po natin kanina si Dr. Avelino, sabi niya, the patients under investigation